And Oliver, welcome to my studio, welcome to my trading room. For all the people who's hearing us right now and who doesn't know you, a lot of people know you, but who is Oliver Velez?
Well, first of all, let me just take a moment out to say thank you for having me, Juan. I think it's like the second time I've been in your home. The first time I'm actually seeing your studio. It's a very, very fine studio, and what a mic you have. I've seen it a number of times in pictures on the internet, but to see it live is just as impressive.
Anytime, come here anytime.
Oh, fantastic. Well, it's interesting that you ask me who is Oliver, because in my life today, I don't really get that question a lot, primarily because I'm largely very focused on the traders that I have on board with me at the current moment, whereas in the past, I was out in the public a lot more doing speeches all around the world, and I do a little bit of that, but not as much as I used to in the past. But for those of your listeners who are not familiar with who I am or what I've done or accomplished in this industry, I'll just sort of give a relatively brief biographical background, if you'll allow me.
Sure.
I have been a professional trader for the last 28 and a half years now. December will mark my 29th year actually trading the markets professionally. Now, I've actually been tinkering with the markets a little bit longer than that, but from a professional standpoint, 28 and a half years. Now, in many industries, that is
3 decades, Oliver. That's
in some industries, it's okay. And as a trader, it's almost 3 decades. It's quite a long time. So in one respect, I can be looked at sort of as a fossil or a dinosaur. But having started in the markets 28 and a half years ago as a professional has given me a very, very distinct advantage over individuals who do not have that depth of experience. I have not only participated in the industry as a pioneer in the online trading space for individuals, but I've watched and seen, experienced the market evolve and develop into what it is today. And it is entirely a very different animal today than it was 28 and a half years ago. But in 1994, after a number of years of professionally trading as a NASDAQ market maker, I decided to actually branch off and trade solo on my own. And my experience trading on my own led me to wanting to have a number of assistants for my personal trading. That led to me wanting to have a semi-army that assisted me in my trading, which will bring me to what I do today very shortly. But in the interim, I put together a newsletter because in 1994, after having been trading for a number of years and gaining a certain degree of popularity in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area, many traders in the industry, and the industry was a lot smaller than it is today, many traders in the industry began to hear about my progress as a trader. Many firms began to ask me to come in and perhaps maybe speak to their traders. I decided, because there was a demand in getting to know what I did as an individual trader, I put together a newsletter. That newsletter was called The Pristine Day Trader. I formed a company called Pristine Capital Management, which became the parent company, which many people refer to today as Pristine.com. For 12 years, I grew that company from my basement apartment in the Bronx, New York, to lavish offices around the world, to having 4 million subscribers.
4 million subscribers.
4 million subscribers to my various services ultimately, which were delivered in multiple different languages, 24 hours a day all around the globe. We had offices in Japan, Germany, London, Paris, of course, a smattering of offices throughout the United States, and a few actually here in Latin America at the company's peak. This happened during the late 90s and the early 2000s, when the entire industry changed quite radically. It moved from an institutionally driven market or industry to an industry that was primarily being driven by the individual. So it was an incredible time to be in the mix. It was an incredible time to be not only in the mix as a trader, but as one of the pioneers driving this new era, which was the era of the individual. When I started trading professionally back in the mid to late 1980s, the individual was non-existent. It was entirely an institutionally driven world. And it was not until 1996, 97 that the individual market began to explode in sync with the explosion of the use of the internet.